normally dressed like this, but I'm off to an award ceremony in about half an hour. So I do apologise for not being here afterwards, but Richard is our group CFO. He can mingle afterwards and answer any questions you have. So disclaimer we've done. So I started the business in 1988. I'm the CEO. Richard has been with us for about 12, 13 years. He's the CFO. A brief overview of the business. So the business is into three sections. We started in 1988 doing freight forwarding, moving textiles from Belgium into the UK for Next. Since then, the business has expanded a lot. We have a detailed slide on what we do on freight forwarding. And we have offices in the Central and Eastern European areas, the Balkans, the Baltics. Our second division, which we started, was our transport services. Our transport services basically sells and acts as a reseller to 1,500 truckers in the Eastern European area who are running 11,500 trucks. We have acted as an agent for DKV fuel cards since 2002. Those truckers are also suppliers to us on our freight forwarding division. So these three divisions are all interconnected. Our logistics and warehousing division is primarily in the Romania and the UK. So there are significant opportunities which we have for growth in Romania and the UK in each of those sectors. And the reason we've listed on AIM in August was to pursue a policy of buy and build. So I'll just go on to the next one. We published our interim results in September, and we had a very good 50% increase in revenue with the comparative year, 24% increase in profit margins. Our earning per share has gone up, and we paid our first dividend. So we have good growth across all areas in those divisions, particularly our Baltics area, where we've been concentrating on doing full load movements. In the European trucking market, there's likely to be a shortage of truckers. We feel that that will actually increase prices. So one of our bigger competitors, Expo, sent a circular to their customers about increasing prices, and the ability to make money down there is all about being able to source truckers. So we have a database of customers, 11,500, running 11,500 trucks, plus we have a huge database of suppliers we've worked with over the last 30 years. So we feel that we can source trucks very well. You'll notice on there that we also have our Baltics division, which has done very well. We started that in 2012, and that's a palletized network in Romania. In 2012, we started. The first month we did 800 pallets. We're now up to 40,000 a month. Our freight forwarding division, as I said, our competitive advantage is the ability to source trucks, and our operational focus is connecting our Baltics and our Balkans offices and to the UK. And we have a new division which we're very excited about, which is our eShop WeDrop division. eShop WeDrop is an e-commerce activity, and we are moving at the moment around about 4,000 parcels into the Baltics area. eShop WeDrop enables buyers overseas. So someone in Lithuania can go online to buy product from UK websites, Polish websites, Danish, German, Italy and Spain, and we'll soon have a Dropbox solution in America. The customer goes online in Lithuania, he goes to buy the product, and instead of getting the online retailer to deliver to him using UPS, FedEx, etc., he provides our address in our UK warehouse. Online retailers tend to deliver within a country for free. So we receive the product, we scan it, and we then put that B2C activity on the back of our existing B2B lines. So at the moment, we're moving around about 4,000 parcels a week into the Baltics, and we are looking to expand this across Europe by way of franchising. So we'll be franchising to courier companies to do the final mile delivery, and we believe this is a very exciting area for us for future growth. As I said, our transport services division, it also, apart from providing fuel cards, also we sell sea freights and freight crossings to our trucking community. So we have 1,500 truckers, lots of trucks going all over the place. And what we're looking to do with them is our average customer has 7 trucks. So we are buying bulk and reselling on. So we'll be building up our affinity insurance product as well as our affinity leasing product. So we buy bulk, resell on, and make a margin. Logistics and warehousing, as I said, is based predominantly in Romania and UK. In the UK, our warehouse in Braintree is e-commerce and fulfilment. So we will be looking to expand that part of our business in the UK. We will probably look to get warehousing in the Midlands. And the e-commerce and the fulfilment links into our e-shop WeDrop business. In Romania, our Baltics operation, which is a franchise from Baltics in the UK. Baltics in the UK is owned by Hilary Devey, who former Dragon's Den woman. And we started that 2012, fantastic growth. That gives us the ability to deliver palletized freight throughout the whole of Romania within 24 hours. We are the first mover on that market, so we have first mover advantage. We have nobody else competing with us with a similar product. We have the big multinationals like Schenker's and Kuehne+Nagel, etc. down there, but they do not have our system to be able to deliver. On the back of that, we have taken more warehousing, and we will be building up our contract logistics activity, which is taking warehousing, doing storage for customers. What we have then is the ability to deliver full loads and part loads, plus all the half pallets or quarter pallets within 24 hours. So Romania for us will be a big growth area on our logistics and warehousing. We have a hugely diversified customer base, over 10,000 people working with us. There's a few names that you can see on there. Our biggest customer at the moment is Primark, which is about 3%. So you'll see a lot of textile people on there. We started the business. Our main trading division is Delamode, a name we made up in '88. So huge customer base, top customers. When they work with us, they tend to stay with us, which is quite good. So there's no customer concentration risk. The main markets we work in, you'll see on that graph that Romania is down here at about 4%. Romania's current GDP growth is about 6%. The other countries we're in there in Eastern Europe, again, have got good growth. So we like to think we're in the right place to grow the business. Richard.
Right, again, if we look at the first column there, we had a very strong performance in the first half of 2017, where revenue is up 56%. And that's largely, as Stephen mentioned earlier, the development of our Balkan and Baltic regions, which are growing significantly. That's a mixture of looking at our current core services and providing new services as well. That manifested itself in an increase in operating profit before exceptional items of 24%. In the year, there were exceptional items of £330,000, and that related to the costs of listing, which was successfully achieved in August of this year. Interim results are in line with where we expect, and as I say, very strong performance for the first half. If we look at the cash flow, again, if we look at the middle column for 2017, the first half of 2017 generated 1.36 million of operating cash flow. So a very strong performance again, which manifested itself in cash. We are a asset-light, cash-rich business, which enabled us to follow a progressive dividend policy, and we voted out our first dividend, which will be paid in October of this year. Balance sheet. Again, as Stephen mentioned, we're an asset-light business. We don't own or operate our own trucks or have our own warehousing. That makes us very asset-light. And that has enabled us to have a very positive cash balance sheet, where we have a net asset position of 3.8 million at the end of June 2017, with 6.9 million of cash in the bank.
Right, so the strategy going forward is to organically carry on doing what we've been doing for 30 years. We will be looking to launch Palex in Hungary, so we have that franchise. Hopefully that will be sometime in November. We hope that that will replicate what we did in Romania. There is a franchisee, not us, but for the Bulgarian area. So we're looking to have cross-border trading in that area of Europe. As I said, the eShop WeDrop business, very excited about that. And we're hoping that we can establish franchises across the whole of Europe in the next year. M&A activity, which is the reason we came to the market. We need to have something which we can trade. Our basic deal structure that we try to go into is to buy companies on multiples of 4 or 5 at EBT level, and lock those management in on a 2-year earn-out with 50% in shares and 50% in cash. And that is why we needed to list. The freight forwarding market and the transport market that we're in is highly fragmented. There are loads of transport companies all over the place. And we'll look to remain asset light, and we'll focus on having the right strategic fit. So we have various acquisitions we're looking at. We are highly unlikely to run out of targets. It's such a highly fragmented market. Our people that you can compare us to would be companies like Kuehne + Nagel, who are quoted on the Swiss market, and DSV on the Danish market. We are much smaller versions of them. They wouldn't look at any companies with a turnover of, they'd have to be 100 million plus for them to look at it. We're very content to swim in the 10 to 30 million turnover range. We'd rather do 3 or 4 deals than one big one at 100. Doesn't mean to say that in time we won't get to that. So we have lots of ambitions on that front. We do have a pipeline of deals in place. These are 2 of them. And these I've been talking to since the beginning of the year. The first one is a freight forwarding business, very complementary operations. They're running lines into areas of Europe where we don't go. They're also bringing a lot of containers in from the Far East. Delamode has been predominantly a European road freight transporter. So in the next 2-3 years, we will be expanding into more air and sea and going more international. That opportunity is progressing very nicely. It was this afternoon. And opportunity number 2 is very much a niche operation, which strategically will be very, very good for us, I believe, on our eShop WeDrop business. Again, hoping to close that one before the end of the year. But apart from these 2, There are about 3 or 4 others which are not on there, which I'm looking at. So in conclusion, we have a very experienced board. So we have a CEO on our freight forwarding, Sean, who's been with me since 1991. Denor runs the logistics business. He's been with us since 2005. Dana started the project with me on DKV in 2002. Richard's been with us 12, 13 years. All the board have got shares in the business. We've all retained our shares. As a family, we have no intention of selling. So we've come onto the market simply to have a currency that we can use to do M&A activity. The business is cash generative, and when we make money, we like to pay it out. So we have a dividend policy, which will be to pay out 50% of earnings after tax. And we've paid the first dividend already. We're in the right place. We're in Eastern Europe, so we're in the right place with the right people. As a business, we have 650 people work with us. A lot of them are very, very young. I'm probably the oldest. So it's a great young team of people who are energetic and well rewarded. We did an acquisition in March of a UK textile company. We do a lot of international textile transportation. The acquisition we did in March of a company called EMT. He's a domestic warehouse. He does garment reprocessing and domestic deliveries. That enables us to give a one-stop solution all the way through. So, as I said, we do a lot of importation for imports for Arcadia Group, Philip Green. So textiles for us is probably 10 to 15%. 10 to 15% of what we do. But I've been doing textiles since '83. So I'm showing my age there. So, yeah, if you've got any questions, I think we've got 4 spare minutes there as well.
Question just down here. Could you talk a bit about the potential threat or opportunity with Brexit, please?
Yeah, Brexit for us is a massive opportunity. One of the acquisitions I'm looking at actually got an office in Dover. Before Romania joined the market, we were making about £1 million a year on customs clearances. So we are experienced in doing customs clearances when it happens, and a hard Brexit could be the case. We see that as a huge opportunity because we lived with it back in the 80s and 90s before we joined the government market. So we've had experience of how it used to be, and so we feel well positioned to deal with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, if you didn't do any acquisitions at all, what is your organic growth rate of the business, roughly, going forward, would you think?
Well, in our past figures, we invested quite a bit of money in getting eShop WeDrop into place, getting our Palex operation into Romania. So our past figures have got a lot of investment, which we self-funded. All divisions now are making money, and I guess we'd be expecting 20% growth.
Well,
25?
if you look at the interim position of the increase year on year, only 2.5 million of that came through acquisitions. The rest was organic, and that manifests itself from looking at our core products we have currently provided, but also looking at new products in our existing client base. So looking at different forms of transport, air and sea freight, and a movement between small part loads to full loads.
Any more questions, everybody? Gentleman right at the front.
Could you tell us a little bit more about the IPO? What was your market capitalisation sort of immediately after the IPO, and how much money did you raise, and what has the shares done since the IPO?
So, yeah, we listed on day one with a market cap of 24 million, and that gave us a share price of 24 pence, effectively. Since the share price today, I think they're running at 28 0.63%. So we've seen some good growth on the share price. Our investors are happy, pleased. We obviously had a positive result from the interims that we announced. So we're pretty pleased with where we are, and so are the investors, which is good.
If I can ask one more. When you do the buy and build, you'll give the vendor of a business 50% shares and cash. Will you also do a simultaneous placing in the stock market in order to raise the cash?
We have enough cash raised to do the first 3 deals, which I have in progress. But there will come a time next year when we will come back to the market. And the scale of some of the deals we're doing will require us to do that.
Enough cash for how many, sorry?
First 3 deals are taken care of. So we raised 5 million. We spent 1 million on advisors and lawyers and everything. And but we have enough to do those first 3 deals.
If you were to do a placing, could I urge you to try and include ordinary investors as well, rather than just institutions?
Yeah.
Primary bid are particularly good.
Yes.
That's one of their
Right,
strengths.
yes. Yes.
A free pint at the end of the day, then.
Another 5-year day.
We have discussed that with our brokers, and we would want to have a situation where you go to the big institutions, but also offer it to all investors. So we want to treat everybody, if you like, equally.
Is your dividend policy formalised in writing? And if so, could I have a copy of it, please?
I'll send you an email if you want. Yes. Well, my family has a vested interest because I have 4 grown-up children who have expensive habits and things. So they are actually the shareholders in the family company. So they'll be demanding their dividends as well. So.